Yo, what's going on, Planet S.O.N family? It's your main man, JD. Thank you for tuning in. This is Drinks with JD.
Well, I write every genre. So I write classical, I write jazz, I write R&B, I write gospel, I write rap. I don't necessarily do all those genres, but I do write lyrics. So, you know, I even write country music.
Wow.
Yeah. A third of my catalog is country.
Wow.
So
your songs are universal.
Yeah, they're for everybody. They're for everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite type of music?
Mine?
Yeah.
Jazz. Just like my name.
There you go. Now, was that nickname given to you?
No, I created a character.
Okay.
I created a character in one of my provisional novels called The Holiday Years. Well, the first book is called Criminal Affair. And then, you know, and in that book, there's a character named Jazz Holiday. So that's me in the book. And I'm literally telling life stories, but, you know, I'm embellishing, you know. So, and then I write the prequel to that book, to Criminal Affair. I go back into Jazz's boyhood, and I call that The Holiday Years.
Wow.
So these are two provisional novels. We haven't put them out yet. You know, they're still on the table, but yeah,
awesome,
so that's
man.
where jazz came from.
That's awesome. Not only are you a songwriter, you're also an author. Or do you just write everything?
I do short stories.
Okay.
I love to write. You know, math isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Writing is. And so, I'll you know, if it's writing, I love it. It can be a short story, it can be a song. I write poetry.
Yeah.
You know.
So you just love storytelling as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
now, when did you pick this up? Like as a kid? Like did you just like telling stories, or?
I think as a boy.
Okay.
You know, because I have a very vivid imagination.
Okay.
So I can just create right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Some of it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I have one called I think 19. I have to look at what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm using the alphabet.
Okay.
You know, so those letters spell out the particular girl's name that I was dealing with at that time, and I just put us in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
I put us in a world where, you know, names were forbidden. You could only use numbers. Yeah, that's what it's called, 2050.
Okay.
So 2050, you know, the 20th letter and then the 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you created it.
I created it
as a kid.
and I created the whole world.
Wow.
Yeah, I created that whole universe, and in the end, these two wound up having a child, and they gave it a real name.
Wow.
Yeah, so it kind of like changed.
Yeah, it just broke the rules of the
broke
entire world.
Then, you know, it's 2050. You know, it's like, you know, 1581, but now we named her something else.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Now, did you ever tell this little girl what you were doing?
I did. I did.
Yeah. How did she take it?
Well,
She was like, "Get out of here, weirdo."
Right. You know, and we wound up being you know, like boyfriend and girlfriend, but really.
So it wasn't like you were stalking her or nothing like that. Okay.
You know, I speak of her very fondly because she has since gone home to be with the Lord.
Apologize.
And so she inspired me to write.
Yeah.
She always encouraged me with my writing, and it, you know, and I have yet to share with her daughter those writings, because while I was on one of my tour of duties, I wrote a lot, and she was the subject.
Wow.
She was the subject of all of those short stories.
Yes.
And she was the subject of a lot of the songs.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your tour duty, can
Yes.
you elaborate a little bit?
So, you know, I was a bad boy, and I spent a little time behind bars, to say the least, a little bit. But during that time, I wasn't locked up.
Okay.
You know, I was incarcerated, but my mind was free. And I wrote at least 50% of my catalog while I was locked up.
Wow.
So, it might seem like it's an area where you die or where you can't grow, but for me it was fertile ground. And I did the time. I didn't allow the time to do me.
That's amazing. Jazz, a couple weeks ago, you shared this amazing story during your time of duty. And you spoke about how you impacted certain inmates, right? Back in the day when you met a certain person, and you shared your stories or your songs with them. Oh, I believe a song. That's what you said. Years later, they found you again, and they spoke to you and reminded you about that. Can you tell the story? I just thought it was an amazing story, and I just want people to hear it.
It's really amazing that,
just take it back. Take it from the beginning.
Fast forward. I go, and I'm incarcerated, and during my time, I always gravitated toward the chapel. So I learned Misa Catholica because I didn't want to be in that cell.
Okay.
So I learned how to play for the Catholic service. I learned how to play for the Protestant service and the Anglo-Saxon service because I just wanted to be. So they would bring me in, and I pretty much spent most of my time in the chapel playing for all the different services. So the men got to know me, from all walks of life.
Of course.
And then we would do our little R&B thing. Everybody, hey man, what you do? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
But so this one particular time when I was getting ready to leave, I had prepared a piece for the gentleman, and
for him specifically.
For the men.
Oh, okay.
He took it for himself specifically.
Okay.
And it was called "She's Our Woman," and I did it. And I sang it, but I only sang it that one time.
Yeah.
It's not like I practiced it or anything. I brought in.
Yes.
And the next morning, I was leaving.
Yeah.
So I had the guys in. I said, I'm just going to bless you guys with this particular piece. And I did. And he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody that was there enjoyed the song.
Yeah.
And then I went home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking maybe, at least 10 years later. I was on another tour of duty at a different facility. Yeah. And this guy who I wouldn't have known from Adam.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people.
Of course.
He comes up to me and he says, "Is your name Rodney?" And I said, "Yeah, who are you?"
Hey, who's asking?
Like, wait a minute. Yeah. and then he said, "Do you play the piano? You write songs?" And I said, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
And from that, he said, "I got this song, man. This song that you sang a few years ago that I never forgot."
Yeah.
And I said, "What's the name of the song?" And he told me, "She's Our Woman," and he sang it word for word.
Wow.
And it just blew me away.
Yeah.
He told me that he used it to bridge the gap between him and his wife that were still together. They stayed with him all that time.
Of course.
So, and there's pieces of poetry that I left behind too that guys, because me being a writer, you encounter people behind bars that don't know how to write. And so I used my skill for writing to write letters for them, maybe to fill out their canteen list or whatever. But that's just, that's my gift. My gift is writing. And so, even the pieces of poetry they would send to their wives or their girlfriends and stuff, those things are still circulating around.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You see how you impact so many people,
right?
With just, your writing skills.
I wish I could find a copy of "The Wind, the Rose, and the Thorn."
That
was a piece that I wrote.
Okay.
That is, it's all around the penitentiary.
Yeah.
And guys use it to send to their girls because, We've got the wind, which is the adversity that we go through.
Yes.
The rose, which is the girl or the lady that's sticking by you, and the thorn, which is the guy. And so I told a metaphoric story about how, you know, through all of the trials and tribulations of life, you know, you know, they still had to stay together, and that it's circulating somewhere. I don't think I'll ever see another copy of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So you write these amazing stories, right?
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I feel that by what you're saying, that you put your heart and soul into it.
Yes, sir.
Now, have you ever been scared to be vulnerable in your music? Like, let's say something that you refuse to share.
Yeah.
Have you ever been scared?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I, about 6 years into a sentence, well, much earlier on than that, but during a period of time when I had to do some time, my first wife got pregnant by my best friend.
Oh, wow.
Twice.
Wow.
And had the babies.
Wow.
And it was a very, you know, for a young guy, a young kid that, you know, has no real understanding of those type of things, it was devastating.
Of course, of course.
And but some of the best music that I've ever written came from that. But that was a period of time where I had to learn to be vulnerable. I couldn't even get through singing them. You know, they just would bring me to tears because of, you know, that's just it's touchy. But today, of course, now I can do them, and they heal other people. You know, other people that may be going through that. You know, I'm able to share those pieces, and I see the visible reaction because they came from pain. You know,
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, but there was a time when I couldn't even talk about it, let alone sit behind a piano and sing my pain. You know, sing exactly, and I'm transported back now. I remember exactly. I remember the emotions. I remember what it felt like when I got the news the first time, and then I began to heal. And it took me a year to kind of put up on the scab, and then she got pregnant again, and the scab came off, and it was terrible.
Oh, for sure.
But
I mean, I can't imagine.
I wrote it out.
Yeah.
You know, I wrote it out,
and that was also your way to process it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that word means a lot to me. The process.